Oh, there's a new Leaf. It's in that kind of minty green colour. I'm sure it's got some bizarre name, but that's the first one I've seen away from a garage that looks like somebody actually owns. Now, today I want to talk about the plug-in grant that you get in the UK, that the government provides for anyone who buys an electric car or a plug-in car of any description. Now, it's been running since, I think, about 2011. It was pretty generous back then. I think all cars that plugged in had a £5,000 grant. It's been revised, and the last revision seemed to look like it was going to come to an end in March of this year, so the end of this month. And I've seen on social media and various places people are all getting quite rightly concerned about it, especially if you're about to buy an electric car and suddenly you're going to have to spend another, as it is now, if you have the full grant, £4,500. So I thought I'd dig a little bit deeper into that and talk to you about what the grant is, what you can get, and is it really going to end at the end of this month? So that's what I'm going to do. But that said, I need to get across to pick Thomas up from school because I'm taking him out for a bit of dinner tonight. I did it with his sister the other night. She's got something on tonight, so I've promised him that I'll take him out and we'll have an evening of I think we're going to eat beef burgers, this is what he wants to do, and play Star Wars games whilst talking about Minecraft, so he informed me this morning. So that's where I'm heading now. So I'm going to pick him up, and then on the journey to where we're going, hopefully I can give you a bit more of an update. Yeah, that's in Salisbury.
I went up here to go to Salisbury Cathedral.
Salisbury Cathedral, what, on a
Yeah.
school trip?
Yeah.
Ah, very nice.
I didn't really like it there.
Why didn't you like it?
I only liked.
And what were the fun parts?
I don't really know. I don't think there really was it.
So you didn't enjoy your school
I
trip?
Steady. On the way there.
Yeah.
There I saw about 2 pheasants.
2 pheasants, was that the best part of the day?
Yeah, on the school bus, I was looking out the window, and in this field, I was like, ah, there's pheasants.
So now I can get a word in edgeways. Let me take the first part of it. Let's look at where we all started. So 2011, the government released a grant for zero emissions cars. And these were cars that were effectively, they were plug-in cars, and so they drove a certain amount of distance on their batteries. And at that point, you had a £5,000 grant. Now, if you look back, 2011 is when the Leaf was pretty much initially launched. There were very, very few cars on the road at that point that would qualify for that grant. So £5,000 was a decent amount of money, and you spent substantially more on a Nissan Leaf over its ICE equivalent. So at that point, the grant was, as I say, very generous. It was a very nice grant indeed. So then it evolved, and they changed it and said that there had to be 3 categories. Category 1 was effectively a vehicle that could travel 70 miles or more on zero emissions, and then if it was some sort of hybrid vehicle, after that it would be ultra low emissions. Category 2, similar sort of setup, but it only had to travel 10 miles on no emissions, and then the rest of it, if it switched over, on very low emissions. And category 3 had to travel 20 miles on zero emissions, but then it was able to, it was a bit more flexible in the amount of emissions that it could give out once it then flipped across to whatever its other source of energy was, generally petrol or diesel. Is it your birthday?
No.
Is it Christmas?
No.
So why would I buy something for you?
And another reason?
There isn't any other reason.
Have I filled my token jar?
I don't know, have you?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Well, sorry about all the chopping and changing. To be honest, the boy doesn't stop talking. It's lovely, he asks lots of questions, but I can't get a word in edgeways. So couple that with the fact I threw a cup of coffee over myself in the cafe, I just had to come home and get changed. I thought I'd do the rest here. So I've covered categories 1, 2 and 3. What does that mean then? What do you get for it? So category 1 is £4,500. Category 2 and 3 is £2,500. And to give you an idea of some of the cars that sit in those categories. So category 1, things like BMW i3, Hyundai Ioniq, Nissan Leaf, Renault Zoe, the Volkswagen e-Golf, the e-Up. So those sort of vehicles. Obviously, the list is going to change all the time, but that's just a flavour of some of the vehicles in there. Category 2, you've got things like Kia Optima, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, the Prius, the Ampera, the Volvo XC90, the T8 twin engine one, 2017 only it says on that. And category 3, at the moment, there's only one in it. That's Mercedes-Benz E350e AMG line. That's the only one that apparently fits in the category 3 at the moment. But you know, it depends when you watch this video, that's all going to change. The other thing that's worth mentioning that is excluded is any vehicle whose price is over £60,000. So that doesn't qualify for anything, regardless of how it sits in. So that's how it's worked up till now. The big question is it going to continue? Now, the reason this has come up is because the last review, the government said that the grant will be available up until the end of March 2018, which is where we're heading towards now. It's nigh on impossible to find any information about whether that has changed. So the presumption is it's going to end. Well, the flip side is the bill that is currently going through the House of Lords, which there's many parts to it. It's all about the government encouraging innovation and things around autonomous driving, the uptake of electric vehicles or alternative fuel vehicles. But in particular, they have set aside, I think it was 100 billion for the plug-in grant alone. So that shows that they're committed to it. So it shouldn't change. Likewise, I can't find anything to say it's definitely going to happen. So I phoned Nissan today and asked them, and they made some inquiries and came back to me and said they have got no information to the contrary that it's going to finish. So as far as they're concerned, into April and beyond, it will still be there. So I think we can take from that nothing's going to change. I'm sure as the years go by, they'll play with it, change the amounts. I guess the amounts will ultimately drop away. But for now, the grants are still there, so nothing to worry about. If you are looking to buy an EV anytime soon, don't go rushing. You don't have to get it before the end of the month, which is good news. So that's where we are. So hopefully that's either put your mind at rest or given you a bit of information about what the plug-in grant's all about, and hopefully you can use that to your advantage. But for now, that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, remember to like and share, and if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.